Okay, welcome back. I have to start a new presentation. This is Genghis Khan. Okay, I prefer to just give you the hint for the thing that we have studied before. Genghis Khan, if someone knows anything about him, do you know anything about Genghis Khan? Who was he?
He's from Mongolia?
Yes, he is
He's from Mongolia, miss.
Yes, he is a Mongolian warrior, and he
Miss,
was
he was from a group, and this group
a tribe.
like take from a tribe, and this tribe take over every tribe.
Yes, that's it. He in Mongolia.
One that color repeat the king.
Okay, that's right. So he was born. This is one of the things that you have to know, that he was born in North Mongolia, and when it was 1162. His real name when he was born was not Genghis Khan. He was Temujin. Later on, we will know why he was named Genghis Khan. This is Mongolia on the map. If I said this is the China and this is Russia, this means that Mongolia in which continent? Mongolia in which continent? In Asia. It's in Asia.
Yes, that I said.
Okay, it's in Asia. In old days, Mongolia, it was formed of something called tribes. What do you mean of tribes? Groups of people living together and marrying among each other. When they want to marry, they marry from their cousins, and so on. So they do not marry outside the tribe, and they are trying to enlarge this tribe. You understand? We had the same thing here in Egypt, but in the desert. They like to live in the desert. So the life there in Mongolia was groups of tribes, and every time each one of the tribe started to attack another one. Maybe they may win the battle or the war, and they can capture all the other tribe, enlarging them and proving that they are stronger. Genghis Khan or Temujin, he has changed his name to Genghis Khan after the death of his father. That's why we are going to tell the story of the death of his father. His father died. Who killed his father was the Tatar leader. Tatar is a name of another tribe that was living in Mongolia. When his father died, his mother taught him how to be harsh in order to stand strong in the face of the Mongol tribal society, because in the Mongol tribal society, it's tribal here, the adjective of tribe, those group of people, you have to prove that you are strong, otherwise that they are going to attack you and take over your whole tribe. Okay, how did his father die? The story starts when Temujin was 9 years old, and his father took him to live with another family. That was the family of his future bride, which will become later his wife. Her name was Brute. Fine. So his father, in his way back.
We discussed this before, right?
Yes, we said it before, but I just wanted to connect the whole story together.
Okay.
In his trip back to his home, his father, I mean, his name was Yosuke. He met members of the Tatar tribe. In the background, there was a conflict between the tribe of Temujin and his father and the Tatar tribe. They were fighting each other. So his father, in his way, he met one of the members, and this tribe was his competitor or his opposing tribe. This member of the Tatar invited Yosuke to a meal, he pretending that he wanted to end the conflict between them. And actually that was an ambush, or was like a trap, because they poisoned him because he was so violent against them. So the Tatar poisoned Temujin's father because he was violent against them, and they set for him an ambush or a trap. So when Temujin heard about the death of his father, he just flee back to his tribe because he was not there. He was at another family, his future wife family. So he flee to his home in order to claim his position as a chief for his tribe. His father Yusikin, he was the chief of the tribe. So when he died, his son supposed to be the one who will substitute him. So he want to prove to the other people or the member of the tribe that he is the chief and he will lead this tribe. So do you think that the tribe or the other tribe members, all people, are going to accept a younger boy to lead them? Of course not. So the tribe refused the young boy's leadership. They didn't accept it. Not only this, they also excluded all his family, which was his Temujin, his mother, his half-brother, and younger brothers. Half-brother, it would mean that he was from another mother. Yani, it means that they have the same father, but he was born from another wife. So they excluded his family away from the tribe, and they start to deal with them as if they were refugees. It means that, yes, we are responsible for you, but you do not belong here. Now, Temujin wants to prove that he is the leader or the head of the family. So he fought with his half-brother, which his name was Bekter, and he killed him. Now he became the head of the family. When Temujin was 16 years old, he married to his first wife. Her name was Braut, and with Braut he had 4 children or 4 sons. All of them were boys. Of course, he had married a lot of wives because this is their custom there. Why they are doing this? They are marrying a lot of wives in order to have large families, a huge number of boys, especially boys, in order to join them in their battles, their war, and then later on, when they grow up, they join their army. Were trying to create a huge army of a huge number of soldiers. So one of his sons, his male children from Braut, were his only children who were qualified for succession. It means that the sons from Braut, they were the only people who were ready to take over his throne when he dies. This means of qualified for succession. Okay, the term universal ruler, if you know what the meaning of it, what the meaning of universal?
Yes, like the whole world.
Yes, global wide. It means that he was, this term universal ruler had been said or called for the Temujin. How did he get this? That's what we are going to discuss right now. Okay, this is story. It's just a side one, but it's not that important. Okay, as I told you, the tribal life, or every time one of the tribes try to attack another one in order to take over it. So one of the tribes attacks Temujin's tribe and they capture him. Anyway, he managed to flee from this tribe and run away or escape. And when he went back, he decided to do what? He decided to start a fighting unit to be ready to face any attack like this. How did he start this fighting unit? He joined his brothers and several other members of the same tribe, of his tribe. So those few people or few men, they formed something called fighting unit. That was the beginning of the first army, of his tribe. So slowly, Temujin began to ascend or rise to the power by doing what? By building a large army. Every time he attacked another tribe and he won the battle, he add more soldiers to the battle. Every time people are or they giving birth to boys, they let them join the army, and then later on they become soldiers. So he is now enlarging the army till he reached 20,000 men in his army. That was a large army among the whole tribes. And the first thing that he started to destroy or to stop it when he had the control or become the strongest leader among the tribes. He wanted to destroy the traditional division among the various tribes and unite the Mongols under his rule. It means that he wanted to stop this division among the tribes. He wanted the whole community to be only one tribe, controlled by only one leader, which was himself. Did I lose anyone here? Are you still following? Especially the people who didn't attend, like Noor
Yes.
or Fine. So,
Missy, this is the new part, or this we took it before?
no, I'm connecting them all together. So I wanted to remember, and the meantime you are knowing the new things or the new event that happened. Okay?
Okay.
So as if you are starting over again. You can forget about what we said before. Now, where is Temujin now? He is the leader of the whole tribes in his community. What would be the first thing to think about? To get revenge for his father. From whom? From whom he's going to get his revenge? Who killed his father? Who made an ambush for his father or the trap?
A Tatar?
Yeah, that's right, the Tatar tribe. So, because he was brilliant in making military tactics, so he used both his outstanding military tactics, it means that military tactics, planning for the battle, and his merciless brutality. Brutality, it means being so aggressive, so violent. He doesn't have any mercy at all. And this will show up, yes, in how he was dealing with his enemy. So he used both his military tactics. Please remember or memorize those things well, because you will find it in the fill in the space. And merciless brutality. He avenged or he revenged his father's murder. How? By destroying the Tatar army, decimating or destroying the Tatar army. How did he destroy it? He has because this is one of the military tactics. He target first the strongest people in the army. Who are the strongest people? People whom their height is more than 3 feet tall. He ordered killing every Tatar male, a man I mean, who was more than 3 feet tall. So now he killed the tallest people in the army. This is the first thing. Then he ordered to boil all the chiefs of one of the tribes alive. Each tribe had a chief, had a leader, so he ordered to boil them alive. Now he get rid of the strongest point of the Tatar. So by this way, he was proving himself to be the strongest one. He kept doing this thing using his Mongolian army that he is forming and that he is enlarging all the time to attack several opposing tribes till he managed to yes, he managed to control the central and eastern Mongolia. He managed to control the central, the middle part, and the eastern Mongolia. This means that he has controlled half of Mongolia so far. He have controlled half of Mongolia. Kamal, do you want something? Right. What were the reason of the success of the Mongol army? Why this Mongol army, led by Temujin, has succeeded? Of course, number one, he has a brilliant military tactics, which mean Genghis Khan or Temujin. Also, that at the same time, Temujin understand well his enemy's motivation. He understand well what would be his enemy's target, what did they want, so he was ready for them all the time. Moreover, he has employed a group of spy people and then spread them all over the place or the country. They were collecting for him the information and giving it to them, so he was ready for any anticipating problem. He was quick to adapt to new technologies from his enemy when he was in the middle of a battle or a war. So he noticed well what his enemy is using, especially things that they don't have. The thing that the Temujin didn't have in his place or in his army. So he noticed well any technology used by his enemy, and he adopted and started to use it, or also he was improving it. One of the things that he was using something called the signaling system, and signaling means to send the signal or sending a message. And of course, during this time there was no phone or mobiles or network or internet. So how were they communicating together? They were communicating through a signaling system where 80,000 fighters in the Mongol army, they were trained well of using this system. How the system was working through a smoke. They set a fire, and the color of the fire means something. If the color is red, it means something. If it is gray, it means something. White means something. Yellow means something. So when they find a smoke coming up through the wood with a special color, they just they understand what is the message or the meaning of this smoke. Or the burning torches, where they set fire on a torch and they stand on a high or like a hill or a mountain, especially in the dark, and they start to wave, giving a signal that something wrong. Of course, this every one of them, of those signaling tools, it has a meaning, so they understand the message well. Also, using a large drum sounded commands to charge. They were charging the army by just hitting a drum, a huge drum, making echoes through the country. So that means that this is an order for the whole soldiers to just charge and come to gather together in their army. And also the flag signals. They use a flag and they start moving it in a special direction. As you can see, each direction with a left, right, ups or down, it means a special order. Okay, what do they use in their work? The equipment of the soldier. There were two types of soldier: the one who were fighting on their foot and the other who were fighting on horses. People who were fighting on the leg or on the foot, they had, like as you can see, a bow and arrows. They have the shield. They have dagger, something called the lasso. It's a rope and it has a ring at one of its end. Also, they have something called the saddleback, the thing. And the saddleback, it was made of leather. It was waterproof, and they put inside it their food, their tools, their clothes. They use it also like a light jacket if they are crossing a river or sea or something like that. It was not easy for the things inside it to get wet because it was waterproof, and same time they can flatten it and use it like a draft to hold them while they are floating on the water. So this is how they look like here, the soldier who were fighting on the leg. Now we are going to talk about the soldier who are fighting on the horses. We call those soldiers the cavalrymen. They were soldier in an army who fights on a horse. What did they use? They use a small sword like this. They use a javelin or a spear, this one. They use a body armor. Okay, the body armor, it's like a suit made of metal. They use something called a battle axe or a mace. It's a stick with a chain, and at the end we have a ball of metal or a metal ball. And finally, the lance, and the lance is like a spear, but it has like a hook here at the two sides. He used them to pull the enemies of their horses, to grab them of their horses. Okay, now get the time when Temujin get his title as Genghis Khan. Of course, he kept gaining victories after victories and getting over a lot of his tribes and being their or his competitors, becoming their leader. So at the end, the left out tribes, their leaders agreed to have peace with Temujin, and from this time they gave him the title of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan is by the Mongolian language. It means in English universal ruler. Universal ruler. This is the meaning of universal rule that I told you. It's a long story. How did he get this title or this term, which means Genghis Khan in Mongolian. Now, the Genghis Khan or the universal ruler, as long he became in this position or take this title, he became for them and astaghfirullah like God. It means that if you resist or if you defy the great Khan, which is Genghis Khan at this time, this means that you have resisting the will of God too. So he has like a division, a divine status, a sacred place. They were dealing with him as if he was their God. Okay, those are some examples of the conquest or the victories that he made in different war. One of the most important thing regarding his war, they were starting a battle or a war searching for food only, food and resources. They were not searching for new culture or architecture places or something like that. They were searching for any source of food. Why? Because as I told you, they were the number of the people in the tribe were enlarging because they were giving birth to a lot of people, a lot of children. So the food was not enough for them. So they were looking for places that have food in order to take over them. One of the things that in 1207, he led his armies against the kingdom of Chixia. Chixia is in China. And he kept surrounding them for 2 years until he forced them to surrender. They gave up after 2 years. After also in 1211, they struck dynasty, means like a kingdom. Jin dynasty, it was in northern China, and they were attracted or tempted to not to the artistic place or cities in this place or the scientific wonders. No, they were looking for the source of food there. This campaign against this place lasted for 20 years. They stayed there 20 years till they managed to take over the control there. One of the remarkable word, it was against the Khwarezm dynasty. It's an Islamic kingdom. It was controlled by someone called Shah Muhammad. The Khwarezm dynasty. What happened there? Genghis Khan, he was using something called diplomacy to establish trade. He was dealing with them in a diplomatic way in order to have a trade so they can give him what he wanted from food and seeds and all these things. So he used a diplomatic way in order to establish a trade relation with the Khwarezm dynasty. But at the same time, he was, that he had a spy network. So he put a caravan, like a moving home, and he put inside them some spy. The governor of this place where he put the caravan suspected this Mongol caravan, and he discovered that it was a spy mission. So he kicked these people out of his place, out of his governor. The Genghis Khan, when he knew about that, he demanded the governor, because how can he insult him? He's considered this a kind of insultment. So he called this man and handed over to him, or sent to him diplomat people in order to retrieve the people that he has sent away. Shah Muhammad, he was the president or the chief of the whole Khwarezm dynasty, the leader of Khwarezm dynasty. Not only refused this demand that Genghis Khan wanted to send back his spy, but also he sent back the head of the Mongol diplomat. So the people who Genghis Khan sent to get back to the caravan, Shah Muhammad killed them and put their heads in a box, send them back to Genghis Khan. So what do you think? What would be a brutal character like Genghis Khan will do when someone answers him back in this way? Okay, we're about to finish. That was the beginning, actually, the fall of the Khwarezm dynasty, for what Muhammad Shah did. This act released the violent anger of Genghis Khan. You imagine, as if the beast, now he is going to meet the beast. In 2019, Genghis Khan personally, by himself, he didn't ask someone else, personally took control of planning an attack, and he used 200,000 Mongol soldiers against the Khwarezm dynasty. The Mongols attacked every city with unstoppable savagery. It means they were so brutal. How were this? This is what did they do to show how were they savage in their dealing or in killing the people there. First, when they entered the city, they slaughtered, they slayed a lot of people there immediately, with no mercy. Some people were slaughtered immediately. Some were taken as human shield. They used them as human shield to get all the arrows, the spears in their body. No living thing was spared. They didn't leave any living thing on the land at all, burning everything in front of them. Not only this, they also gather the skulls of men, women, and children, and they put them in a pile in a large hill, as if they look like a large hill. By being brutal in his war, city after city was brought to its knees, and eventually, at the end, of course, Shah Muhammad and his son were captured and killed at the end. That was an end for the Khwarezm dynasty in 1221. That was after how many years? What, yani, this is a story, you like the story so you slept or what?
No, miss.
How many years, after how many years this war lasted for how many years?
Miss,
It started,
it started 1219.
so an end 1221.
21.
So 2 years.
2 years.
Yes, 2 years. 2 years bringing down the Khwarezm dynasty and taking over the control of it. So,
Yeah.
of course, by the death of the leader and his son, that was the end of the Khwarezm place. Now, if you remember, that was the beginning of the Mongolia. That was the beginning. Now, the conquest of Genghis Khan, he started to add to him when he go to make his battles in China and makes his victories. He was adding cities to the Mongolia, so he connected the major trade centers of China and Europe. Now, look at here. This is how become the Mongolia. He took part of Russia. He took part of China, enlarging his city, so his country, that made him make him like the center of the trade. Everything, any kind of trade, cross through his country. This is where we stop. We stop here actually. We stop about something called the Yasa or the Mongol Code. This is a new code. Genghis Khan has made it and he applied on his country. He named it Yasa. What was this code? How did he use it? How did this code organize or control his new or huge country? This is what we are going to know in the coming session in the social study. Did you like the story? You didn't like
Yes.
because you only Noor was listening. Okay, thank you, Noor. I appreciate. I know that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Miss,
you very
no,
much.
I don't like the story.
You don't like it? Why?
Yes.
Why you didn't like it? Yes, Joanna, why you didn't like it?
It's a bad story.
Yeah, of course, but it's a true story. Don't worry, don't worry. In the coming part of the story, the Genghis Khan is going to change a lot. Don't worry. By applying this code, the Mongol code, which is named Yasa, you will find a new person. But of course, this doesn't mean that we have to forgive him for what he did. No, of course.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy your time. Prepare yourself for the revision. People who are participating in the International Day, please, if you are not willing to participate, so you have to tell me. You have to send me because I'm depending on you. So I remember some people told me that, let me end the session first.